draußen, hier ist David und Shia von BS Old School. Wir haben heute hier das große Glück, Tommy Victor von Prong hier zu haben und wir stellen Ihnen so ein paar kleine Fragen. So, Tommy, very warm welcome to Braunschweig.
Oh, cool. Good to be in Brunswick.
Yes, right, Brunswick. Very nice to have you here in our small town, and we prepared some few questions, and yeah, I like to get started. So it would be very nice if you can tell us how did you get in touch with music, and when do you started to play guitar? Do you remember your first instrument even?
Yeah, I didn't play guitar as a kid. I had to stop playing accordion. I went to my mother sent me to this this local music store, I wanted to play guitar, but the guy was like, you know, you have to play accordion. So, and then I just wanted to be in a band. I was really young. So by the time I was like 11, I bought a bass from a kid around the corner and started learning, you know, Black Sabbath and Kiss songs on a bass. And then it was just way later till I started playing guitar, with Prong. It was like the first band I really started playing guitar with. We didn't have a guitar player, so I just started doing it. So yeah, I mean, I've been playing. I was like most people, like you guys, you know, like life was so miserable as a kid that metal and punk music was the only thing that made me happy. So that was really the way it was. I was certainly not getting any girls, or I was not the greatest athlete in the world. So what was left? I was okay in school. So next thing was, you know, music, right?
It's the same with me. I'm a guitar player also. So that's the next question. The guitar style of Prong for me is iconic because it's like, you know, heavy riffing, downstroking.
Yeah, a lot of downstroking. Yeah.
How did you evolve this?
I think it's for playing, learning, eventually, Misfit songs and punk stuff with the downstroking, and then I was playing bass, and I have a different attitude about guitar than most guitar players are concerned about how many notes they play and how they try to impress everybody with that, and I never had the opportunity to even go that route, because I was like, you're in a band, you're playing guitar, and I sort of picked stuff up by ear, and it was kind of by accident. But I think from playing bass all those years was really where the guitar style came from. So it was very rhythmic oriented.
Very nice, thank you. Do you you've been often to Germany? What do you like in Germany? What you don't like in Germany?
There's not much I don't like. I mean, I think it's one of the nicest countries. It's economically, the food is unbelievably great. People are very nice. There's really nothing bad to say about Germany. It's always nice, right? I mean, to be honest with you.
Thank you very much.
The only thing is that things are not open on Sundays too much.
Yeah, that's right.
And things close early. I don't think, so that's the only thing that's different. In America, everything's open all the time. So,
New York City for us was the melting pot of hardcore music. Bands like Agnostic Front or Chromex, Life of Agony, Type O Negative, whatever, Biohazard, they were born and created in New York City.
Yes.
So, how did you grow into the scene? Is it true that you were a sound man at the famous CBGBs?
Oh, yeah, for years. So from 86 to 90, I was the sound man at CB's. During the week and in the hardcore matinees. So, yeah, like that Agnostic Live at CBGB Agnostic Front record. I engineered that. I was there during that whole time. That's when Prong started, around that period when I was working there. So, yeah, no, I worked. I used to hang out there before then, and I stopped playing in bands, and I went to a program at New York University for audio, and I knew people that work at CB, so she's like, oh, I just got, looking for sound guys, so I just got a job there, and then, Mike, the doorman, and I formed a band that was Prong. So, whoa. I mean, I wasn't even really interested in being in a band that much then. I was trying to be a sound guy, but Like like I mean, Evan from Biohazard. We played our first show. Like they gave us, well, we gave him their first show. Like he came to me with his demo, and
that's great.
We played a lot, like with Typo before that. I used to do carnivore shows and like all that, and I know all those guys a long time.
So this was the place to be for the hardcore scene in New York
City?
Well,
yeah, totally. And then L'Amour's, bands like Carnivore and Crumbsuckers would play L'Amour's, and then there was a place out on the island too, and then there was a studio one in Newark. There was a bunch of places, but yeah, there's a lot going on, that's for sure. Then they had the bigger shows, which was called the Rock Hotel shows, which they'd have. The Cro-Mags were really popular. That's how we got signed. We played with the Cro-Mags, headlining, and it was Destruction in the middle, and then we opened up the show, and the guy from Epic Records was, when we got a major label, we had 2 indie records. He was like, I want to sign you guys. And, we got signed to a major label from that show. So there's a lot going on. I mean, it was a new thing. I mean, crossover, and now everything's been done. It seems like it's boring now, really,
I don't know. I think there's a certain evolution in the music.
Maybe. I'm just starting to evolve. I mean, it's like Gent came out, and I was like, yeah, okay, but, it's the scene has gotten smaller, and...
Yes.
Like it was.
Gent is really, you need to like Gent or not. I don't like it. So, what is your favorite music to hear in private?
I listen to all kinds of, and I don't listen that much. I mean, all what I consider metal, I just is like Volume 4, Black Sabbath, and that's to me is metal. Later stuff, I mean, obviously, Frost and, Celtic Frost and Metallica, Slayer. But, occasionally I very rarely listen to that. I'd rather listen to old Sabbath records than anything. And then, I mean, as far as metal goes, Deep Purple, too, and Rainbow, and, that era for me. And then I'll listen to The Damned and... Joy Division and Sisters of Mercy, and a lot of that. The Killing Joke is still one of my favorite groups, but I listen to other stuff too. Like I went to a whole period. I was listening to a lot of Miles Davis, and I listened to Tchaikovsky, and my wife is into musical theater, so I was listening to a lot of anything from Phantom of the Opera and Jesus Christ Superstar to Rent and those type of soundtracks for musical theater, and which I really like a lot too. So. We mix it up.
You made Evolution first hardcore, then they called it alternative metal in the 90s.
Right.
Now it's industrial metal. You did a long way with Ministry, also with Al Jorgensen. What are your plans for the future?
I don't know. I mean, I still play with Danzig, so I'm still doing that gig. And
with Danzig?
Yeah, I've been playing with him for the last 25 years. Great. And I've been in and out of the band, but I've been last 15 years I've been playing with him. And then so we got a couple of tours coming up this year. But I don't know, I got to see. I don't know if it's, in this day and age, it's difficult to say if it's worth making more records. It's kind of like who cares? So I'll have to see. Like, I don't know if that's in the future. I know Glenn we just did this Elvis covers record. So he's doing, Danzig does Elvis, and that's going to be his last record. So, it's like, why go in and make records anymore? It's like, it just seems like a waste of time. For me, and we've made so many records, and it's like no one gives a shit when you put them out. So it's like, we'll see what happens.
You met a lot of interesting and musical people from all over the world. Maybe, do you remember? What was the most interesting person you ever met, or did you have a special situation on tour you will never forget in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I've met Ozzy, and I've talked to him a bunch of times, and Tony Iommi, and those are my heroes. So, I've met most of the people I've wanted to, like Jazz Coleman, I've hung out with, and from Killing Joke. So those are the main guys that. I don't really like to idolize that many people, It's like that's what I don't like about the music business and music. And, like they idolize people so much, and it's just it just gets annoying. So, but you know, Ozzy is pretty funny. He was hilarious to see how he really is. It's exactly what you think he is. You know, he's kind of it's funny. So, but no, I mean, like I know a lot of people like, oh my God, I met this guy or whatever. It doesn't really. I think I had more craziness. I mean, I'm not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I actually hung out with Bill Cowher, and like I went to, I was like sat with him and drank beers with him, and that was probably the I don't even know what to say to him after. I was like, dude, I don't even know how I can't even talk to you. I was so, and he was just laughing, and it was funny.
What is your favorite movie from the last years or 2019? Can you say?
From 2019, I like the last John Wick movie a lot. That was amazing. And then I thought the Godzilla remake, the last one, was really good.
Okay, so we have a question. There will be a new Godzilla versus King Kong movie.
Yes, I'm very interested in that.
Who will win? Who will win?
They will have a winner. I don't think they'll. Maybe they'll just be buddies. They'll have like a thing at the end, and they'll make out or something. And you know how Hollywood is these days. Excuse me, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I'm really interested. I like Skull Island a lot, and then King of the Monsters is the storyline was retarded. It was so stupid. But like they're bringing back all these monsters to kill everybody to save the planet. It doesn't make any sense. But I thought that they did a good job with Godzilla. We were waiting for that. So yeah, I mean, as far as other stuff, I mean, I like the Downton Abbey movie a lot. I was really into that because I like the TV show a lot. I know that sounds like
that's not that big here in Germany, so many people don't know it, but I know it.
Yeah, it's pretty much English. It's for English people, I guess, and I may sound like a big like effeminate by liking it, but I love the whole series, and that's and then. The Irishman was alright. It wasn't like, I mean, I love gangster movies, and that was okay.
Okay, so how about the connection to your fans in general? Do you have good or bad experience?
I have good experiences. Like we have there's like select people that have been very supportive over the years, and you know, it's weird. Some people have been around for a long time, and I've been friends with, wind up being friends with them for a really long time. So, you know, I'm not like one to keep communicating with people a lot, but I mean, there's some that still never seem to go away. So, yeah, I mean, I can't really complain. I mean, I've made a lot of good, nice acquaintances over the years.
That's nice. As a singer or someone who is in public, are there any social projects or rather unknown global themes you want to raise awareness for?
No, I'm not. I mean, not really. Like I mean, like I say, I've sounded pretty cynical about stuff. And like I'm not like with well, especially in America, in Los Angeles, there's really not that hell of a lot going on. You know, it's just it just doesn't, especially with rock music. So I don't know. I mean, everything seems to be more based alternative music, and what I call hipster music is really what's popular, which is just something that's like quirky and accidental, like Billie Eilish or something. She's just, like, that's just like that comes out of nowhere, and that's, creates a phenomenon. So that's really what I think music is about these days. So it's just a sort of, it's almost good for people just to do whatever they want and see what happens. Like, as I have a problem with metal, and it's just too many rules, and people have to fall into these things, and there's so many bands, and nothing has really emerged that's fantastic. Like there's a group, actually out of new bands I like, it's this band Drab Majesty, which are like this. They sound like Tears for Fears, and that to me, I thought that was great. Something that came out like that, because mean, metal just seems. I mean, it's like either these guys are playing a million notes all over the place, or they just, it doesn't make any sense to me anymore.
So, have you met fans with prong tattoos, and how do you feel about it?
No, I mean, that's a big deal with prong. I mean, we got guys like so many, and like I posted a couple the other day on it. I think it's cool. I don't really have one. I mean, I got tattoos, but I did felt necessary to get. I have a couple that have a little bit of prong, and I have like a little hot stuff is this little devil, and he has one of the first ones I have, and I had got that before prong, so we sort of got the band name from that tattoo. So
that's great.
Yeah, and it's just been like there's guys that have unbelievable, like Beg to Differ, the whole Beg to Differ album cover on their back. That seems to be a big one on their leg, or that's a really popular one because it's Pushead, and then there's a lot of Tridents, and I have people I've autographed, and they get which I feel a little weird about, like young girls I've autographed and they have tattoos, and like that's a little disturbing, but who cares,
So have you observed any, I mean, you've been around for over 30 years now, so have you observed any changes in the metal hardcore scene?
Oh yeah, I mean it's dwindled, it's gotten I mean we're older too, like our fans are older, but I mean it just it's hard, it's hard to be dishonest about it and say like, oh wow, yeah, no, I really like what the scene and everything, and I like what I've seen. It's just like when I was growing up, like 50s doo-wop music was like what like my oldest sister would listen to, and like we were like, wow, that's like this old-fashioned music, and it's just like I think that's how kids see like a lot of like hard rock these days. It just seems to be like old people's music, and it reflects it too, because it just seems like the like I said, it just, I don't know. I mean, I think that the music business has not treated metal that well neither. It's just everything is about R&B music, and especially in America, and just straight pop music. It's just like music in general. The whole music scene is puts me in a bad mood, really.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I have to be honest. I know, and I know it sounds like I'm a hater, but it's like the whole thing is kind of disappointing to me. That's why I listen to stuff that's nostalgic to me, because I remember, like, and I could remember when I first heard, Hotter Than Hell, and how exciting that was, and like how fun that was, and the first time hearing like Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and like how, like I was like, and I still remember that. So I try to get some excitement for me about music through listening to old stuff, because otherwise I'll be like, this is retarded. This is like there's no mystery. I think the digital technology and internet has made it not mysterious. And like we used to get one picture of Ozzy, and like we find in a magazine, and we'd be like, oh my God, it'd be hanging on our wall for like 2 years, and it was like a big deal. Now, like no one, you can find pictures and images of anything on your phone, and no one cares anymore. Back then it was like you get your hands on something, and it was like, we'd have to buy Black Sabbath tickets 12 months in advance, and it would sell out in like 2 hours, and we'd wait for a whole year for the concert, and like it'd be like this, counting the days till Sabbath came back again, And it's just not like that. Kids are they're spoiled, and everyone's into video games now anyhow. So music is like this little tiny sliver of people's interest. Years ago, it was more interesting. In the 70s, it was like, it was huge, rock music. It was massive. Like they'd have, like this California Jam was this big festival they had. Like Ted Nugent headlined that, and it was like, 150,000, 200,000, more than that people. Now, to have a rock concert, it's like they're just not. It's just not. It's for old people,
So, just out of curiosity, what was the first Sabbath song you played?
Well, I guess I mean I played bass like I was saying, and I guess it was I tried to play Iron Man, you know, like so I got Paranoid first when that sort of came out, and then I was a really little kid, and then we went back and we got the first album, which wasn't really that popular that much. Like Masters of Reality, I think it was a Masters of Reality and Paranoid we got our hands. Oh, I say we had like you know, I went to Catholic school and we had a bunch of kids, like 2 or 3 of us that were interested in metal and rock, and like, you know, we were like considered these outlaws, and we got our hands on that stuff. I don't even know how we got the records. Like we just, you know, they were hard to find, and it was just weird, you know, like, and we were just so addicted to it. It's something to do with being taught by nuns in Catholic school. We just like, we fucking hated life so much that we had to find like something. So, I mean, Kiss and Sabbath were definitely, you know, but I think it was like, yeah, I mean, Iron Man and you know, Smoke on the Water, when we heard those, we were like, it changed our lives, you know.
Yeah.
So I would say the last question. Tell me something about the touring, about the pros and cons of touring.
Pros, I can't really think of I don't know. I mean, we travel so many different styles. Like nowadays, like we did a lot of touring last year in America, like we did years ago in a van, like just 5 of us, you know, 3 guys in the band and 2 other guys in a van all over America with the equipment in the back of the Sprinter, staying at shitty, like crappy, horrible hotels every night, you know, and like wait for 5 hours and having to get up at 9 and drive all day. And it's just, it sucks, you know. It's like, well, I mean, how much fun is that? And it's a lot of the shows, it's not like it used to be. We were on tour with Agnostic Front, you know, for last year. We did a month and a half with them, and then we did a month and a half with Hatebreed. And it was like, it was brutal, man. It's just like, you know, it's like, it's gone back to the old days, and, you know, we do it, and, you know, I try to make a buck out of it, try to get some money, but it's just crappy. It just sucks. So.
Okay.
Fortunately, here we have a lot of nice guys. Like the Unearth guys are really, really nice dudes, and these Dust Bowl guys are great, and these kids, Sonaro, they're just. We got like 25 people on one bus, and everyone's really, really nice. So that's cool. Sometimes you're out with bands, and these guys are assholes, and it's just like you fucking hate them, and you want to kill these people. So it's just like, yeah, like sometimes you get guys that are just complete, like disrespectful fucking jackasses. So we got lucky on this tour.
It was a pleasure having you here, man. Thank you for your time.
Hopefully I wasn't too honest.
No, man, it was great. Thank you very much.